Who was the man who flew the plane that dropped the first atomic bomb? His name was Paul Tibbets, and his story is one of duty, controversy, and a legacy that continues to be debated to this day. Let's explore the life of the pilot of the Enola Gay. Paul Warfield Tibbets Jr. was born in Quincy, Illinois in 1915. He was a confident and ambitious young man with a passion for flying that began in his teenage years. Despite his father's wishes for him to become a doctor, Tibbets secretly took flying lessons. In 1937, he enlisted in the U.S. Army Air Corps, setting a course that would place him at the center of one of history's most pivotal moments. His natural talent in the cockpit was immediately apparent. He was known for his calm demeanor, precision, and exceptional piloting skills, qualities that saw him rise quickly through the ranks. When World War II broke out in Europe, Tibbets was initially an instructor, but he was eager for combat. He soon got his wish, flying B-17 Flying Fortress bombers on some of the earliest and most dangerous American daylight bombing raids over Nazi-occupied Europe. He led the very first American heavy bomber mission against targets in France. He flew dozens of combat missions, gaining a reputation as one of the best pilots in the entire Air Corps. His experience and steady hand under fire caught the attention of high-ranking generals, including Dwight D. Eisenhower, for whom he flew on a special mission to North Africa. In September 1944, Tibbets' life took a dramatic and secretive turn. He was handpicked by Colonel Franklin Fritz Deline and General Uzal Ent to lead a top-secret project. He was told he would be commanding a new unit, the 509th Composite Group, which was being formed for a mission so secret that even he wouldn't know all the details until much later. His task was to organize and train this elite group to deliver a weapon of unprecedented power. This was, of course, the Manhattan Project's atomic bomb. Tibbets was given complete authority. He selected his own men, chose his own training base in Wendover, Utah, and oversaw a rigorous and highly classified training program. The secrecy was absolute. The crews practiced dropping single, heavy bombs from high altitudes, but most had no idea what they were truly training for. Tibbets himself was one of the very few who knew the full scope of the mission. He was responsible for modifying the new B-29 Superfortress bombers to carry the massive and uniquely shaped atomic weapon. He even had the honor of being the first pilot to test fly the modified B-29, an aircraft that would soon become famous. As the program progressed, Tibbets selected the specific B-29 he would fly for the mission. In a tribute to his mother, who had always supported his dream of flying, he named the aircraft Enola Gay. This personal touch added a human element to a mission of almost unimaginable scale. The Enola Gay and its crew were deployed to Tinian Island in the Pacific, the forward base for the final stages of the war against Japan. On the morning of August 6, 1945, the moment arrived. Tibbets and his 11-man crew took off from Tinian. The bomb, codenamed Little Boy, was armed in flight. Their target was the city of Hiroshima. At 8:15 a.m. local time, the Enola Gay released the bomb. Tibbets immediately executed a sharp, knifing 155-degree turn, a maneuver he had practiced countless times to escape the blast. 43 seconds later, the sky was torn apart by a brilliant, blinding flash of light and a rapidly rising mushroom cloud. The crew felt the shock waves hit their plane, but they had successfully escaped the immediate danger. Looking back, they witnessed the complete devastation of the city below. Co-pilot Robert Lewis wrote in his journal, "My God, what have we done?" But for Tibbets, the moment was about the successful completion of his orders. He had been tasked with a job, and he had executed it perfectly. His primary emotion was relief that the complex mission had gone according to plan and that the war might soon be over. 3 days later, another B-29, the Boxcar, dropped a second atomic bomb on Nagasaki. On August 15th, Japan announced its unconditional surrender, officially ending World War II. Tibbets and his crew returned to the United States as heroes. They were hailed for their role in ending the war and preventing a costly invasion of Japan, which was projected to cause millions of casualties on both sides. Tibbets was awarded the Distinguished Service Cross by General Carl Spaatz. He was a national celebrity, the man who had delivered the final, decisive blow. In the years following the war, however, public perception began to shift. As the world grappled with the terrifying reality of nuclear weapons and the humanitarian catastrophe in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, questions arose. The debate over the necessity and morality of using the atomic bomb intensified. Tibbets, as the pilot of the Enola Gay, became the public face of the decision. He was often asked if he felt guilt or regret for his role in the deaths of over 100,000 people. His answer was always the same: no. He maintained that he was a soldier following orders, and that his mission was a necessary act to end a brutal war and save lives. He often said, "I sleep just fine at night." He believed the bomb was a terrible weapon, but that using it was the lesser of two evils compared to a prolonged war. He was firm in his conviction that he had done the right thing under the circumstances. He wasn't a warmonger. He was a patriot who did his duty as he saw it. Throughout his post-war career, Tibbets remained in the Air Force, rising to the rank of Brigadier General. He was involved in the development of the B-47 Stratojet bomber and held various command positions. He retired from the military in 1966. After his retirement, he worked for an executive jet aviation company in Ohio, eventually becoming its president. But he could never fully escape the shadow of the Enola Gay. In 1976, he reenacted the bombing in a B-29 at a Texas air show, complete with a mushroom cloud pyrotechnic effect. This caused an international incident and drew a formal complaint from the Japanese government. Tibbets apologized, stating he hadn't intended to be insensitive. In 1995, for the 50th anniversary of the bombing, the Smithsonian Institution planned an exhibit that included the fuselage of the Enola Gay. The initial script for the exhibit was highly critical of the decision to use the bomb and focused heavily on the suffering of the Japanese victims. Veterans groups, including Tibbets himself, protested vehemently, arguing it was a revisionist and unpatriotic portrayal. The controversy became so intense that the exhibit was drastically scaled back, displaying the aircraft with minimal historical context. For Tibbets, this was a fight to preserve the memory of his crew and the context in which they acted. Paul Tibbets passed away in 2007 at the age of 92. Fearing that a grave or headstone would become a site for protests or vandalism, he requested to be cremated and have his ashes scattered over the English Channel, a place where he had flown so many times during the war. The legacy of Paul Tibbets is as complex as the event he is forever tied to. To many, he remains a hero, a skilled and courageous pilot who did what was necessary to end a global conflict and bring American soldiers home. To others, he is a symbol of the horrific destructive power of nuclear weapons and the moral compromises of modern warfare. His story is not just about a man and his plane. It's a reflection of a world-changing moment and the difficult questions that still linger. He was a man defined by 43 seconds over Hiroshima, a man who believed in duty above all else, and whose actions will be debated for as long as we remember World War II. Thanks for watching. If you found this story interesting, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into history's most fascinating figures. See you next time.